Hello guys. If you guys can hear me, please give me a signal in the chat or somewhere, please. Okay. So hello everyone. First of all, a huge thanks for joining in. And today I've been off for a long time. I was busy in other stops and like that, so I wasn't able to give much time to my YouTube channel. So recently I got this new idea to try out new language, the Google's Carbon programming language, and basically the idea was that I would try to learn and try to discover the language from the scratch in the live stream itself. So basically I don't have any idea about Carbon previously. I haven't learned about it, its syntax, or how it is run, how to compile it or how to interpret it. I don't know about that. So basically I will plunge into it and then start from the scratch to try to learn it and at least try to do some programs like hello world or some logic and something like that. And then meanwhile I will answer some of your questions in the chat, so you can drop them in the chat. So hello everyone. I can see Tulsi, Ayush, Neeraj, Rohan, Arjun, Roshan, everyone. So thanks for tuning in. So let's go on and try to search, first of all, what is Carbon. Okay, so basically I had got this idea from actually one of the Google blogs, in the Google app. Basically one morning I was waking up and then I saw one post that Google is launching a new programming language to actually replace C++ or to to work upon some of the shortcomings of C++. And then I was kind of interested, but I didn't have time to actually go into it and then learn it beforehand. So basically we will do that today. And my purpose of this live stream is that I want to show and I want to teach you guys basically how to approach a new programming language, and how can you what are the steps or what are the general methodology to actually learn it, to read the documentation, and then to install the build tools and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's go to the first link here in the Wikipedia. Okay, so Carbon is an experimental general-purpose programming language created to be a C++ successor in quotes. Google engineer Chandler Carruth first introduced Carbon at CPP North Conference in July of 2022. So basically it's pretty new. I can see that it's August, so there isn't more than 2 or 3 weeks since it has been first released. And then it intends to fix several perceived shortcomings of C++ and stuff like that. Okay, let's go to its website. We can see from here the implementation language is C++. Okay, and then the file name extension is .carbon, and here is the website. Let's go to the website first. Okay, first thing, I'm gonna start this repo as I always do for new repos. And let's, okay, this is something interesting. Let's go. Okay, here is the documentation. Carbon language, an experimental successor to C++. So fast and works with C++. Okay, performance matching with C++ using Llvm. Low level access to bits and addresses. Interoperability, that's cool. Fast and scalable builds that work with your existing C++ build systems. Okay, I'm not gonna read all of that. Let's jump right into project status. So Carbon language is currently an experimental project. There is no working compiler or toolchain. Oh, that is sad. So how are we gonna run it today? You can see the demo interpreter. Okay, they have this demo interpreter here. All right. Okay. So this looks something like a program that computes the square of 12, an integer. And let us try to understand this. So package, I think this does something like, it belongs to this package, just like Java packages, or in Python we would put it in the subdirectory with __ init.py and something like that. So it looks like fn is the keyword to define the function. Square is the name. I noticed that they put the name in the Pascal case, so capital S and QUARE. That's interesting. So yeah, I can understand this particular syntax because we have this similar syntax in Python too, for the type annotation. So basically I think that this means that x is a type of i32. So my guess is that it is an integer of 32 bits, and this means that the return type of this function would be i32. That's my guess, totally a guess. And then the square of an 32-bit integer would again be a 32-bit integer, and then that is returned from here. So that is a function. And okay, they have this main entry point for the program as capital MAIN, which returns an integer 32-bit. So that's my guess. And here it returns the function call square with argument 12. Pretty interesting. So we can see the chat here. Long live Rust. Okay. Carbon will outperform Go, Java, C, and C++. Let's see that. So I'm basically trying to speak in English in this particular stream because we may have audience from various countries in the globe, across the globe. So but at some time in between I may use other languages like Nepali as well if I feel comfortable. So no problem with that. Let's go. Okay, let's write a hello world program in Carbon. How about that? Carbon. Okay, this is not something that I wanted. Hello World became a fully carbon neutral travel management company. Let's do hello world program in Carbon language. Okay, here it is. So basically here Carbon versus Rust comparison. Let's see something here. So as part of Carbon language evolution, a lot of factors are considered. Some of them include taking a look at garbage collected languages like Java, okay, more modern languages such as Rust, Swift, Kotlin, and so on. So Rust is thoroughly evaluated as a replacement to C++. In fact, Carbon language insists to use Rust and ignore Carbon if possible, as Rust is technically and economical more viable language. However, for organizations that are already using C++, it is very difficult to migrate to Rust. Okay, that's understandable. Software written in Rust has properties and modules that none of the languages like C++ or Carbon has. Adapting to Rust for large C++ code bases is almost not practical. Okay, so what I understand from this particular blog is that they brought this new language because C++ is kind of old. There is a long process in changing the features and incorporating features and stuff like that, because as far as I know, C++ has to be compliant with ISO and other standards as well. So it has a large technical debt it has collected over the years. So basically for the existing C++ projects, migrating to Rust, the languages like Rust is pretty difficult. So they want a new language that would be interoperable with C++. but still it would be easier to incorporate new features and stuff like that. Okay, that's impressive. Okay, that is the part I want. So how to set up and install Carbon language? We need to have Homebrew, which I already have. Cool. So let's go to the next step. So we need Bazel. Okay, I don't know what that is. So first of all, we need to install Bazel. Okay, let's do that. So brew install Basilisk and enter. Okay, I can see that the chat is being interactive as well. Go is going to replace many other languages. Okay, I laughed so hard after hearing Carbon will replace C++. I don't actually think Carbon will replace C++ anytime soon, if you would ask me. But still, you know, it's still in beta. It's a experimental language, and then people are basically trying to solve the problem that there exists currently, right? So for example, you know, the programming language Dart that Google brought forward, basically the Dart and Flutter ecosystem, it basically changed the way we would, you know, look at the mobile apps. You could basically use it to, you know, build Android apps as well as iOS apps and web apps and all that, and the Flutter framework. There was React Native before that too, but after Google brought Dart and Flutter, then basically people loved it and then just plunged into it. So basically it can happen with Carbon too. I don't know. We don't know about the future. Let's see. So I have already installed Basilisk here. So let's go to the next step. Okay, we have to install Llvm. Llvm is the core virtual machine on which Carbon language is run on. Let's install it. Brew install Llvm. Copy and paste. So guys, if you want me to give a shout out to your channel, so please go on the chat. It's a wonderful opportunity for you. Let's help each other. Let's go to the syntax. So it will be installed in the background, and let's see. Okay, hello world program is here. So package explorer test. I think this explorer test means some kind of package. This API is kind of consistent here, and then in the default or the you know, the sample program provided at compiler explorer 2. So I think this API is kind of a keyword or something special. I don't know about that, but I think yeah, there also and here also it's similar. So let's do something like package hello world. And then let's see. So var s colon auto. So I think they have this data type called auto, which can store a string. And then so okay, it is a way for declaring a variable. I see. So s is a variable name. So you declare a new variable to store a string, and then they have this capital print s to actually print something to the screen. So let's go here, and then let's write hello world. If you guys want to follow behind me, you can go to carbon.compiler-explorer.com and then run yourself. So var, let's say my name, it's auto equals to hello world. Do we need semicolon? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, we need semicolon. And then print name, return 0. Okay, how do I run this? Okay, it is run by default. I can see the compile or you know, the converted code here, but I'm not sure where the output is. Let's go to the bottom. Okay, we have output here. Yes, we can see the output here. So the result is 0, the return code from the main function, and we can see hello world here. Congratulations, we wrote the first program in Carbon Lang. Let's see if our compiler is ready to be installed. It's still not. It's installing the dependencies. If you are already a C++ developer, Carbon should have a gentle learning curve. I'm not a C++ developer, so it would be hard for me. It is built out of a consistent set of language constructs that should feel familiar and be easy to read and understand. Include math.h, include IOStream, include span. So I know about IOStream, it's input-output stream. That's all I know about C++. Struct circle, float r, print total area. So std, okay, this object, I think we would use the std cout or something like that. We can see it here. Yeah, I remember we used to have C++ as a programming language in second semester of my bachelor's. So standard vector, this looks like a standard template library. Int argc, argv, so these are command line arguments. This corresponds to Carbon code. Okay, let's see side by side. Import math instead of include math.h. Package geometry API. So we would have a package at the beginning of the program. So class circle. We don't have struct here, so we have class. Okay, that's interesting. So for defining a function, we would have fn as the keyword and then the function name, and we have the set of arguments, and then we also define the type for particular argument. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so we have plus equals to as compound operator too. That's cool. Math.py, that's a constant, times c times r, c times, okay, it's not c times, c dot r times c dot r. They have this formatting operator too. 0, I think area is substituted here. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. It's installing everything in my computer. I don't know, Node, MySQL. Let's just leave it here. Okay, they have this video tutorial. If you would like the link, I would put that in the chat right now. So let's go and see the Carbon language basic syntax with examples. Let's go. Okay, first of all, I'll try to see the function and methods in Carbon. Functions can be declared using fn keyword. We figured that out. So syntax is fn, and method name, they prefer the name in the Pascal case. That's kind of weird for a Python or a Java developer, because in Java they use a snake case, they use camel case, and in Python they use a snake case. But still, I would try to conform to this Pascal case for now. So var param, this is a parameter, and then type, and finally the return type. Okay, for void or empty return type, you can ignore the part after the arrow operator. Okay, that's cool. So let's see the function here. Fn sum, the variable a is i32. I don't know what this i32 is. Maybe it's integer. Okay, it is for integer type. So I think, yeah, that's it. So it is an integer of 32-bit. i64 is an integer for 64-bit. i128 is an integer for i128-bit. Just like int in C or C++. So it returns, the return type is i32, return a plus b, and then it prints the count, empty or void return type. So basically this doesn't return anything. Print count function doesn't return anything. It just prints to the console or the standard output. So basically it doesn't have any return type. So in the main function, which has i32 as return type, basically the sum is and then passing the arguments to the sum, and then printing the count as 10, and then return 0. Okay, let's write our own version of sum program then. So let's see if I remembered it correctly or not. By the way, guys, my memory is very poor, so pardon me if I have to look up and again. Fn sum, and then it has num1 as i32 and var num2 as i32 again. So it returns as i32. And let's see, we won't need this middle part, so I'll just compress it. So basically it does return num1 plus num2, and then go on here, and I want to take the numbers as input from the user. Let's see if that is possible. Let's see, tuples, pointers, arrays, conditional, loops, we will go on there later. So are there any input? I and put input. Okay, let's see how to take input from standard std in Golang. Reading in console input in Golang, that's not what we want to do. How do I pass a string into subprocess.popen? That's not it. Okay, I don't know if that's even possible at the current moment or not, but I couldn't find anything in the Google search. Let's try something like, just hit and trial input, something like that. I don't know. Var, let's say num1 equals to input integer number. I'm not sure if this works, but still, let's try to compile it. Okay, it doesn't work. It says the compiler returned with status 1 could not resolve input. Okay, if you guys have tried Carbon previously and know how to take input in Carbon, please just let me know in the comments. For now, let's see if the Llvm is installed. Let's go to the next step. Where was it? Here. Okay, we installed Basilisk, we installed Llvm. Let's export this path. Let's put it in gshrc. Let's put it here and then source it. Okay, let's see if it is available or not. Echo path. Okay, opt llvm bin. So ls opt llvm bin and then grep llvm. Okay, it's here. So let's go and see which llvm. Not found. I don't know if that's actually the name of the executable or not. For now, let's clone the Golang into our directory. So git clone github.com/carbonlanguage/Golang. It's done, and let's cd into Golang. Note that we have set up Carbon language. Let's do a quick run for hello world. To do that, we will use Carbon Explorer to run. To run your first code in Carbon, make sure you are in the Golang directory that you clone from git, and then run below command. Okay, let's run this. Okay, it's downloading something. Let's go to Carbon GitHub repository and search for input. Do they mention input here? Nowhere. Docs. The guides directory contains to be written in user documentation for developers. Okay, it's still to be written. That means the documentation is still in the works. That's sad. The spec directory contains the to be written formal specification. The formal specification is also to be written. Cool. If you're trying to learn more about Carbon, we recommend starting from README. That's what we did originally. So basically it's trying to load something here from the Bazel server. Maybe the source code or any container, or I don't know what it is. Let's just leave it to run for now and then go on to functions. We did that. So basically the numeric variables in Carbon lang are bool. They have a standard boolean type. In C we didn't have boolean type. We used integer. 1 means true and 0 means false. In other high level languages we have a boolean type. In Python, in JavaScript, in Java. So here we have a bool dedicated type for true or false. That's cool. So 8-bit, 16-bit up to 256-bit there are integer types, and for unsigned integer basically the I is replaced by U. And for float types we have F16, F32, F64 and F128, and underscore can be used for digit separators. Okay, that's cool. We can do this in Python too if you didn't know. And so basically what this does is that if you want to write a very big number, for example you have, you know, so let's say foo, and you want to write a very big number like a big number which is I32, and then if you write like 100000000, then it's pretty confusing to read, right? Because you have to count the number of zeros to actually know what that number is. So if you use the syntax like, you know, having the underscores, then what you can do is that you can do underscore 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 like this. What this will do is that you know, it will make this particular number easy to read. It's like, you know, 100,000, 1 million, right? So we can instantly know that it is 1 million and not 100,000 or not 10,000. So that's cool. I like that. And let's see. So we have var a as I32, var b as I32, and print a plus b. Cool. Strings in Carbon language. So strings are declared using string for byte sequence, string view as read-only reference for UTF-8. So UTF-8 means Unicode formatting for 8 bits. And so basically if you have, what I understand from this is that if you have a string, then it's a byte sequence. That means it's read and write both, and for read-only string you have string view. So that's interesting. They have thought of putting a different type for mutable and immutable string. So cool. In Python we have the string as immutable, and in C we can basically go on and change the individual characters inside the string. So they do have support for both kind of strings. So string literals can be declared in two ways: single line using double quotation mark, and multi-line using triple quotation. So this is something similar to Python. In Python we can put 3 quotes, and then we can write multi-line string, multiple lines, and we can do single line too. So that's quite similar to Python. Let's see the example. So a single line string, hello world, and multi-line string, they use 3 double quote characters, hello line 1, and then at the end they use 3 double quote characters, and then this ends the multi-line string. So basically these 3 lines are inside the same string. So we can have a paragraph, or we can have a different page of string. It is particularly very handy when we want to write template strings or return HTML, stuffs like that. So let's go on to, let's see if we can add strings or not. I want to see that. So let's just have this here. We can I want to write a var name as, it was a string, right? So string equals to Bikalpa, and then var space as string to as a space, and then var surname as string equals to Dakal, and then I would like to have full underscore name as a string, which will be name plus space plus surname. Let's see if this works. Full name. Okay, type error in plus. Could not find implementation of interface add with u equals to string for string. Okay, you cannot add a string to a string. That's pretty interesting. So how to concat string in carbon lang? Let's see. Okay, since this programming language is new, I'm not being able to find any, a good tutorial or the blogs that would describe it. So basically it's quite challenging to learn this, but I'm loving it. It's fun. Okay, we built it. So hello world, the result is 0, and let's go to here. Where was it? Vivek says probably you should make one tutorial for this. Okay, I have to think about that. Okay, we gave one particular file for it to run, right? So basically I think we can write a file ourselves in our local computer and then provide the path to it to run it. Maybe let's try that. So first of all, I will try to let's do something like, I will make examples here and I will open the examples. Let's open the whole folder, not the particular example, in VS Code, and let's see if we can write source code here and then pass it to compiler. That would be awesome if it would be possible. So let's just go on to examples and write a new file. Let's say hello.carbon. The marketplace has extensions that can help with .carbon file. Okay, let's see what we have here. Carbon highlighting version 0.0.1. Okay, so this is the power of open source. Okay, basically it has been only 2 weeks since a new programming language has been released, and people have already built extensions to use it in IDE and stops like that. So I really love this open source rocks. So let's install it. I'll make sure to rate it too, but I'll do that later. So let's see if it does any syntax highlighting or not. I will close it and then open it again. So basically what we wanted to do is package some foovar or hello world API fn main. It returns i32 as far as I remember, and print hello world and then return 0. But it didn't do any syntax highlighting, so I think, I don't know what happened here. Can we just close this and open again? Let's see. Still nothing. Folder contains a deb container configuration file. Reopen folder to develop in a container. Okay, no problem. We would not need syntax highlighting as for now. So let's go on to run this particular file. So let's see what we can do. Let's do bazel run explorer and then copy it here, test. So what we want to do is we want to get into examples, and then inside it we have hello.carbon. Run it. Let's see. Okay, let's go on to another topic. It will be compiled in a while. We will come back to it later. Let's go to okay. Avilik says, is the main function case sensitive? Feels awkward. I think so. Let's do small case main and then try that. Will it be possible? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, it could not. Sorry. Let's do this too. It could not resolve main. So yeah, the main needs to be a capital main. And basically, we saw in the docs and in the examples too, they basically follow the Pascal case for function names. That's kind of weird for me as a Python developer, but still C++, C# guys do that. And I think it's pretty common in C++ world too. So I think main should be capital. Okay, let's go to VS Code. Let's see. Yeah, it printed hello world. If we say hello world, Bikalpa quotes, and then compile it again, it says hello world Bikalpa quotes. Cool. So basically, the things from now onwards we will try to write here in the examples as well. So let's go to the official tutorial and let's try to build something. Let's try to learn the loops and if conditions and stops like that. So okay, functions, we did that. Strings, we did that. But I'm still I want to concat these strings. I had seen something like that, the count is, and the count was basically appended there. So I think we have some kind of formatting operators here. Let's try that with percentile operator. I don't know if that is possible or not, but still let's copy the code from here and then let's paste it here. Okay, it doesn't support the shortcut for comment. That's weird. Let's do something like we have a name here and a space and a surname, and then let's do something like percentile name surname. Let's see if this works. I don't know. Okay, so could not find implementation of interface mode with. I don't know what that is, but basically I think we have to do something else, or else we can do something like that. My name is, and we have 0, 1, 2, and then comma, name is space. This should work. Okay, print takes 1 or 2 arguments. So what about having this as a tuple? Print argument 1 expected I32. Okay, I couldn't just do that. Let's do just one variable and see if the name can be printed. type error in print argument, expected I32, actually string. So what's the difference between this and that? Okay, it expects as it expects this particular variable to be an integer, and you can just print a string. I don't know why that limitation is, but we would have to live with that. So let's go to other topics for now. So tuples in Carbon Lang. Let's see. Tuples represent values with multiple coordinates. They can be declared using parentheses. So just like tuples in Python, x equals 0 1, kind of a point. So print 0 x1 and return x0. Okay, xyz is a tuple with multiple coordinates. It can be accessed using index. So tuples, I think they are just like tuples in Python. And let's try writing a tuple. Just comment it and then, okay, tuple, I think it's auto, and 1 2 3 4. Let's print first element tuple 0, unexpected return. Okay, I don't know why this particular thing is coming there. Okay, so first element is 1. Let's try this with multiple elements. A second element, we don't know how to run it in the loop yet, so I will show you the loop part after I read that. And third, fourth, so tuple 1, tuple 2, tuple 3. Okay, so 1 2 3 4, that's it. Let's do tuple 4. I don't know what will happen. Will it raise some exception? Okay, so it will raise a compilation error. Index 4 is out of range for type I32. So that's cool. I think as far as I know, in C they don't have this checking in compile time. Basically when we run, it basically would give segmentation fault or something like that, weird kind of error, but it would not actually check it in compile time. But in Python and other high level languages, they would throw an exception. So I think it's better in terms of debugging and stuff like that. So very good. It gives us compilation error. Let's go to the tutorial, and we have pointers. I know some of you guys hate pointers, and I used to teach C programming to my students at my college, and then basically pointers was something that everyone hated. I don't know why it has such a bad reputation in C and C++ world, but I can understand that because from the moment you enter into the address space, and then you start pointers and strings and stuff like that, so it gets pretty much challenging for a new developer or a new programmer. And that's why C and C++ are kind of a more difficult language to start with, and Python is relatively easier for that purpose. So we see that there are no null pointers in Carbon. Okay, to represent a pointer that may not refer to a valid object, we use optional t asterisk, where t is the type. That means if we have a pointer, an integer pointer, or we say I32 pointer, that will not point to any valid object, then it would be optional I32 asterisk. So that's what that means. And asterisk represents value, and ampersand represents address. That's similar to C and C++. Ampersand is the address of operator, asterisk is the dereferencing operator. Let's see. X I32 equals to 5 and x equals to 10, changing the x to 10, and then we print a line here, x equals to, and we print that. We say var y of type I32 integer. That's pointer type. So basically we have this asterisk here, so it is a pointer. So we store the address of x into it, and then we use the dereferencing operator to actually store 7 in the value pointed by y. So that means x is changed to 7. Okay, so we see the new value of x here, new value of y, and then we can see z as I32 asterisk. So basically here, if you do ampersand and asterisk operator, they cancel each other, and then this is same as doing equals to y, right? Because if you dereference a particular pointer and then apply the address of operator, it's kind of a nullifying operation, inverse operation. So basically if you change asterisk j equals to 0, then it changes y to 0. Okay, that's cool. So let's try this. Let's try to swap two numbers using pass by reference. We used to say pass by reference in C world. So let's try to swap two variables in Golang using pointers. Let's do that. So let's write a new program. I will say swap.carbon. I noticed one thing here. This particular extension is very long, and then I'm already having some kind of difficulty, or kind of some kind of psychological difficulty to type that extension, because in Python it's just .py or .cpp or .c. I think they would have to come up with a relatively smaller extension name, but that's all for now. So let's write package swap numbers. I don't know what package is. I think they would have a dedicated topic on this on that tutorial, so we will discover it later. Let's write it API. I don't know what that API is too. And let's try to write a function swap. So basically it takes number 1, or let's say a, which is I32 pointer, and then number b, which is an I32 pointer, and basically it doesn't return anything, because it just goes on to change the value at actual location, and then it does just that. It doesn't do anything else. So let's try to do something like asterisk a equals to asterisk b, but before that we would need to have a temporary variable here. So what I'll do is I will have var temp as an I32, and let's do something like equals to 0. So I will store the value of b at temp, and then I will say asterisk a equals to asterisk b equals to asterisk a, and then asterisk a equals to temp. Let's write the main function. And then try to define two numbers here. So let's say var num1, it is I32 type, this equals to 17. Var num2, I32 equals to 99, and let's just call swap the address of num1 and address of num2. I'm not sure if this program works or not, but let's do that. So what we would want to do after that is we want to print both of these numbers. So print before swapping num1 equals to, and we would do something like num1. Hello Ankit. Swap num1 and num2, and then let's print num2. And after swapping, let's copy this. In VS Code we have this shortcut, shift and option and down arrow. It will just replicate that line, those lines, and then to push it downwards we do option and down arrow. So that's shortcut for VS Code. Let's save this and let's try to run this. Okay. Sorry, we did not want to run hello.carbon, but we wanted to run swap.carbon. Okay, so before swapping, num1 equals to 17, num2 equals to 99, num1 equals to 99 after swapping. That became before. Okay, let's select this, and to select multiple versions of same string, you would do command plus D. In Windows, you would do control D. So this will basically select both of the befores, and then I can do after at the same time. So it will replace both of those words at the same time. So it will save your time. Just a tip. Okay, after swapping 99 and 17. So I can see that pointers are pretty much similar to C or C++, because I didn't actually have to have any trouble for doing that swapping part. So the operators are same, the ampersand operator, the asterisk operator, everything is same. So basically just the syntax, the variable declaring syntax, that's different. So I think pointers are just similar. And let's see, arrays in Carbon. Arrays are declared using array type and size. So syntax is type and semicolon and size. So for example, var x array I32 and 4. Okay, you use a tuple for an array. I don't know. They used this parenthesis for tuple also and for array also. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see, x array and I32 array of 4 size. Okay, that's what this means. And it is 0, 1, 5, 6, an integer array. So index is 1. So array index, the indexing is similar, just like C or C++ or Python or Java or JavaScript. So basically this is an array. So we will look into this array after looping. We will basically try to find the sum of the numbers in the array later. So let's go to the conditional control flow. So okay, this is very easy. If condition, do something, else do something, just similar to C or C++. And else if, yeah, that's also similar. So I thought it equals to 5. If x equals to 5, then the word is 5, else the word is not known. Very simple. Okay, let's try to write a program that finds, maybe we would do it later. We would combine it later with loops and all other stuff. So let's see what are the looping statements. While loop can be declared using while condition, just like C or C++. I can see that this not operator, okay, they have this the literal not as not operator. So in C++ or C, you would have an exclamation mark for not operator. So basically they have an not as not operator here. It is similar in Python. In Python you write not or and in literal form. So that's kind of similar to Python. And what this loop is doing is basically from 5, it's trying to run this loop until and unless x reaches 10, x reaches 0, and then inside loop at each time it decrements the value of x by 1 and then prints it. Okay, let's see the for loop. For loop can be declared using for and loop conditions. At the time of writing this article, didn't get full working example, but here is the proposed syntax. Okay, looks good. Names, string of size 4, and then they have only 2 strings. I don't know, maybe the other strings will be in empty or null or optional. And for name of type string in names, they do console.print. Okay, this is new. Console.print. I think console.print will be some kind of thing similar to print. Okay, match multiple conditions similar to switch. So they have switch case. For that you do match and then condition, and then have case, condition, and then an arrow operator. Okay, so let's try to write an example. Basically an example to find the sum of the numbers in an array. The sum of numbers from we will put something as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 in an array, and then find sum into that. So let's try that. Let's try to write a program. First of all, an array. So let's say array. Okay, I forgot the syntax. Basically it was a square bracket and then the type of the elements in the array, and then how many elements would be there, right? So let's say I will have 5 elements, and then no, it wasn't curly brackets, it was small brackets. So 1 2 3 4 5. And now let's define an index. Let's try the for loop first. Okay, so let's say for index of type i32 in array, not index but number. For number of type i32 in array, to not confuse it with index, let's do it 11 22 33 44 and 55. Okay, so what I was trying to do is find the sum. So let's write a sum as i32, that would be 0, and then what I would do is sum plus equals to, we already know that we have that plus equals to, I saw it somewhere earlier. So sum plus equals to number, and then finally we would print the numbers is, and we would have sum here. Let's try to copy this, and then let's paste it here in hello.carbon, and then try to run hello.carbon. Okay, compilation error in line number 6, expected comma, expecting semicolon. Okay, I think there would be semicolon here. Compilation error, expecting colon, expecting minus or plus. Let's see the syntax. Okay, we need a var. So for var number i32 in array, we didn't save it, sorry. Syntax error, unexpected var, sorry. It was working earlier, right? So var name type in names. Let's do console.print for now, if that would work. Still not. Let's just print sum. Still not successful. Examples, carbon line number 8, and we have syntax error, unexpected var. I don't know, it's just the same as this. Var names string for AB, and for var name of type string in names, let's copy this particular code first. I don't know if this works or not. Let's see. Let's just paste it here and then try to run it. Okay, that doesn't work as well. So basically what I think is that, the author, when writing this particular blog, as he has already mentioned, at the time of writing this article, he didn't get the full working example, but here is the proposed syntax. So maybe this is the proposed syntax. This was the proposed syntax earlier, but maybe the syntax has been changed. Let's go to this link. For statements support range-based looping, typically over containers. For example, this prints string values in names. We did the same, but we didn't get the output. So I think we would have to do something like a while loop. Let's try to do that. Let's try to employ a while loop with an index. So let's say var index, and it would be an I32 equals to 5, and let's say while index is not equals to 0, and at that time we will simply do sum plus equals to array subscript index, and index equals to index minus 1. Let's see. Invalid character x21. So basically they don't have these not equals to, it seems pretty weird. Let's try to do something like, first of all we will say index equals to 0, and then we apply not operator in front of it. So not index equals to 0. Expected equal. Why is this so confusing? So while not x equals to 0, we did exactly that, right? So okay, x was auto. Let's say the I35, not this is not I32 but auto. Hi Neha, you are not late for this, so the show has just begun. It has been 1 hour since we started, so we will go for about 30 minutes more. Let's see how much we can do. This particular thing is a bit confusing for me, because this is exactly what it is written here, and then when running it doesn't work. How is that possible? Let's write a new program here. Sum.carbon, paste it, and then let's do, okay, this works. So x equals 0. So sum plus is not working. I think maybe they have removed the plus equals compound operator. I don't know. Let's try this now. Index 5 out of range. Okay, so now this is working. So we will have index equals to 4. The sum of the numbers is 154. Okay, finally we got it working. So maybe the plus equals operator that we saw earlier, maybe that has been already been removed from the syntax. I don't know how that happened, but doing the equals to and sum plus array index, it worked. So yeah, we know how to loop, we know how to add the numbers. Let's go to next example. So we won't do switch case for now. Let's go to next topic. Ganesh says, is Carbon pretty new? Yes, it is new, because if we can see Carbon release date, it is 19 July 2022, and today is August of 2nd 2022. So basically it has been only 20 or 21 days since it has been released. Okay, let's go on to classes. Let's try this. So class in Carbon language can be declared using class keyword. Class can have members and methods. Okay, pretty obvious. So here is a class sum. The instance variable is a, and then we have add as a function, and this syntax is pretty strange. So me as self, I don't know, maybe this is kind of a this variable. We would have something like this dot in Java and C++. We would have a keyword or a variable named self in Python. So this may be something like that. So maybe it is saying that a variable named me will represent this self or the particular self object, maybe. So var total i32 equals to me dot a plus num and return total. Main, it says i32 var p1 as sum equals to dot a equals to 5. It seems pretty strange to me because, you know, the private variable is being accessed publicly from here. It would have been more better, or a better approach, if we had a setter that would set this particular variable, but still no problem. We say that dot a equals to 5. Okay, that's okay. Now we say p1 dot add the object dot add 5. So now the total would be 10, I think. Let's try an example in class. That would be better. Okay, package class demo API. Let's say we have a class named, I don't know, a circle, or okay, let's say a circle. I want to try float here, so I will say it a circle. So var radius of type f32, a 32-bit floating point number, and it would be by default 0f, I don't know. So do we have to assign the value here? I think not, so let's not do that. Let's write a function fn, and then let's say area. So this will basically receive me as self, and this will not take any value, but it will return f32. And let's just return. Okay, we need the value of pi. I think we can import math or something like that. We saw that in our earlier example. So return math.pi times me.radius. So basically radius belongs to this particular object, so me.radius, I'm just guessing it, and then go on to have a main function. So it returns i32 and then return 0. Okay, only i32 is supported for now. I think we could not have f32, so f64 maybe. Nope. So it says only i32 is supported for now. I don't know. So let's make it an integer then. So i32. But still, if I multiply pi with an integer, this will still be a floating point number. I don't know why this is complaining. Can I have this as 32? Could not resolve math. Okay, let's see how to do import math. Okay, basically this is doing the same thing, import math. We did exactly that. Why is it not compiling? Let's copy this in our local and then try. Okay, so let's rename this as classes.carbon and then paste it. Okay, could not resolve math. No problem, let's do 22 by 7 then, or 3.14. No problem. Okay, expected integer literal and expecting identifier for left parenthesis carbon 7. Do we need to have parentheses for return? I don't know. Maybe not. Let's do something like var total of f32 equals to 3 times radius times radius and then return total. Will this work? Okay, we can't use f32 then. What about doing f32 everywhere? Let's see that. Okay, it's not possible. So I think we'll have to change circle to a rectangle then. That's pretty strange. Length and breadth. We want to make all of these as I32, and then basically the area would be length times breadth, so me dot length times me dot breadth. Okay, it got compiled successfully. So let's try to create an object of class rectangle. So let's say var rectangle of type rectangle equals to, what was the syntax? Dot a equals to 5. So in our case it was length dot length equals to 10. Let's say dot breadth equals to 10. So what I want to do is I want to have a variable named area, and it would have of the data type of integer 32, and we will call rectangle dot area, and we'll basically print, I think it's capital print, the area is, and then have area. Let's see if this works. Okay, the area is 100. Basically 10 times 10 is 100. So coding is pretty much strange. It works one time and not the next time it doesn't work. Yeah, it's pretty much strange. I think this is because it is not stable as of now. It's just an experimental language, so it's fun checking it out, but still it is not ready for building, you know, complex systems and other production ready systems, stuffs like that. So let's go on to see the structs. So basically structs, they are available in C as well as C++. We can define a structure in C, and we have this dotted notation, structure variables, unions and stuffs like that. So maybe it is the same here. Let's see. Structural types help you identify members using the name instead of their index or position. That's exactly correct. So they declared within curly brackets and can be accessed using name.name. Okay, so we have a structure named pointer, point, and then it will have two members or variables named x-axis and y-axis. So after that we would have a variable, sorry, this variable name is same. So basically we update the value of x-axis as 5 and y-axis as -5, and then we have result as point.x-axis into point.x-axis plus, basically this is of finding the distance between the points from the origin as far as I know. So result is printed out. Okay, cool. And then we have generics. I don't know what that is. Generics can be seen in many modern programming languages. They define a way to induce compile time type checks and helps define cleaner type variables. Okay, just like templates in C++ and Java. So you can have a particular function accept multiple types. So that's cool. Memory safety, we won't go into that. And then yeah, that's it. So that's the basic syntax. I think we have covered pretty much of the basic syntax. Let's go on to write some some programs. You guys name it. So what program do you want me to write? So basically it is not possible to write these complex and other stuffs, but still we can write simple programs like finding the the square, or finding the palindrome of a string, or stuffs like that. But I'm not sure I can do the palindrome program here because I was not able to concatenate the two strings together. Let's search that. How to concat string in Carbon lang. Okay, we already searched that. That was not available there. Let's see if we could. Okay, I don't know. That's out of my league. Two numbers, sum. We already did that. You can try that if you want. So basically you would have to declare a function and then two variables and then return the sum from that particular function. It would have been better if we had some way to read the input from the console, and then we would have some interactive kind of program, a number guessing program or stuff like that. But I couldn't find that, so sorry. I had one question that how is multi-threading and inter-thread communication handled in Python? In Carbon. And the answer is I don't know. Let's search that. Is Carbon programming language? The Google suggestion suggests, is Carbon programming language good? Is Carbon programming language multi-threaded? Let's see. I'm not going to read all this. Or do I have to? So it's difficult for large projects to convert existing C++ code bases to Rust, argue Google engineers. So they have created a new experimental open source programming language called Carbon. So I don't know if it actually would support multi-threading, or it would have interpreter logs or global interpreter logs like Python or stuff like that. So I really don't know at this moment because I'm just as new as you. So let us go to write one last program, and then we will end the stream for today. So let's see what program can I write to learn a new programming language. Let's see. Or we can solve a lead code problem, maybe. Let's do that. Let's solve a lead code problem. So, hello Prahlad. Let's do a easy one. I don't know if that is possible in Carbon lang or not. Do we have Carbon here? I think not. Okay, no. So given an integer x, return true if x is a palindrome number. An integer x is a palindrome when it reads same backward or forward. I'm in Kathmandu right now, Prahlad. Okay, from left to right it reads minus 121. From right to left it's 121 minus. So therefore it is not a palindrome. Cool. Shall we do it? Let's try to write this as a string, and then let's try. I want to give a try. Okay, so palindrome dot carbon. I'll just copy this code from here and then remove it and remove this. So let's say we have a number as a string, and this is 121, 1221. So what can we do to find the length of this string? Do we have anything like length of number? Let's see. Okay, there is nothing called len. So can we have number dot length? Member access unexpected string in number dot length. Okay, can we have number dot length as an method? I don't think so. Can we see the source code and figure out? I don't think so, but still let's try. So we have common. Let's go into common. Hero.h os stream fudging error test. String helpers.cpp string helpers.py. Let's see. Do we have length? Okay, last dot size. I think we have something like size maybe. Let's try that. String in number dot size. Unexpected string in number dot size. What is this? Unexpected string in number dot size. Let's do something like var size of type i32 equals to number dot size maybe, and print size. Okay, that's not it. So lines dot size. What is lines? Lines dot size. Source dot split. Size. Std string ret. Ret dot resolve source dot size. So Llvm string ref. Do we need to have something like this as type? Let's say number. Okay, I don't think so. Is there anything called len? I don't think so. Size or string last equals to lines. Okay, this is in C++ basically, so obviously this wouldn't be possible in Carbon. The extension is CPP, so that would not work. Let's see string helpers.h. String ref contains pointer, parse block string literal, namespace Carbon. So this is not it. Metaprogramming, indirect value, error test, error.h, fuzzing. Let's see what is inside here. Let's go back and try to see carbon lang, the root repository. So Bazel, docs, common, explorer, installers, local, migrate cpp, GitHub tools, proposals, scripts, third party. Let's go to scripts. I don't think this is it. Migrate cpp maybe. Nope. Okay, I couldn't find anything on that. So basically let's just make the size as 4 maybe. That's cheating, but still we have no other options as it seems. And so type error in print argument expected string. Okay, no problem. We can do something like this, right? Okay, so what we are trying to do is we want to run the loop for I32 times, and then we will start from size equals to size -1. Let's say var index of I32 equals to size -1, and then for our while in it was something like this, right? So not index equals to 0, and till that place we would basically say var palindrome bool equals to true, and we would say if a number from index is not equals to number size -1 minus index. If that is the case, then we will simply say palindrome equals to false and then break. Invalid character in source file in line number 10. So we don't have this not equals to, so I think what we have to do is equals to and not in front. Maybe could not resolve bool. Okay, don't they have type of bool? Line number 8. Maybe I could keep it as auto. Line number 10, expected a tuple. If not, number dot index equals to let's say var a of type auto equals to number index, and let's say var b of type auto equals to number size -1 minus index. For now, let's try to print these two. Let's see if these are working or not. So I will say a equals to, and then a, and similarly b equals to b. Let's see if this works. So line number 10, it says expected a tuple. So why is it expecting a tuple? Let's try to copy this and run it. Okay, carbon lang. It looks like there aren't many matches for your search. Okay, I think we would not be able to do that. I'm so sorry. So yeah, it is unfortunate. I don't know how we can possibly find this one from inside. Maybe I would like to just comment it here and then just print out, print number 0. Is this possible? Okay, it is not possible. It says expected a tuple. What about string field? Okay, no. There was something like string field or something earlier. So let's see. Carbon programming language. Tutorial. So string and string view. Okay, that was it. Let's see. Okay, could not resolve string view. So I think we would have to pass on that. So yeah, guys, this was all about the Carbon language. So basically what we did today was trying to get the first impression of the Carbon programming language. We installed it in macOS using Brew, and then basically we learned that it uses Llvm as internals. So basically its performance is kind of comparable to C++, and then it is not made to actually replace Rust, but for the code that is difficult to migrate from CPP to Rust, it is actually the objective is that it would be easier to migrate the older C++ code to Carbon. So I think that is the objective that the original developers had behind it. So if you want to try this, and you always have this online compiler, I think this would be improved in the days to come to basically add new features and other stuff. So I will just put that here in the chat, and yeah, this would be all. I'll try to have regular streams at least once in a month, because this is fun and I love doing it. So maybe I would come with another new language or something like that for the next month. So till then, we are going to end this stream today. So good night, guys. Have fun. Happy programming. Bye bye.